All right, y'all, we got to talk about the Stockholm Syndrome happening in the Western manga indie space. In fact, this is happening throughout most artists in the West. And I'm sure it is happening a little bit in Japan, but we're not going to talk about Japan. We're going to talk about us. Before I get into it, here is the new explanation as to like what is the goal with the donation cash, right? So thus far, I have said that the donation money is going to serve as our marketing budget to market your stuff when it's ready, right? Currently, I'm reworking volume 1. I should be done with fixing it by December. And I want not only myself to be the first to start marketing this thing, but I need another soldier with me. The soldier that is working on his stuff, he said he will be done by February or March at the latest. But ultimately, I'd like everybody to understand that now we have a goal with this marketing budget. And this might sound a lot to you, it might sound crazy, but look, man, if we don't try, then nothing's going to change. Then we're always going to be at the mercy of the Saturday AMs. We're always going to be at the mercy of all these other companies that just want to exploit us and so on. If you truly want to be free, this is the place where we can be free. This is the place where we make a stand against all the demoralizing content, against all the zombie people who just want us to feed them primal content alone. Right? What about if you want to tell meaningful stories, authentic stories that actually help people think, help people overcome things, inspire people? That is the point of Coffee Comics. We're here to tell meaningful, authentic stories that inspire people to get up. We are not producing zombie food that just helps people forget that they are stuck in a hole so that they stay in a hole. So the marketing budget annually, I think it's going to be very good if we reach $10,000 annually. Now, for those who are going to say, you're one crazy nigga, man, that's never going to happen. It's like, look, I think that's rather fair. Having an annual budget of $10,000 to market our stuff, right, is going to be very good. We need at least a float of $5,000, right? But having $10,000 to serve as an annual budget, I think that's very good because I doubt there's going to be people who can release 2 volumes a year anyways, right? But at least people will know about your stories when they're ready. At least there'll be a budget. At least there will be a united front that Coffee Comics will push your stuff and it will promote your stuff that you are under the banner of the crucible against demoralization. At long last, you are part of something that actually means something. It's not just about getting likes, retweets, and your ego stroked. It's actually about what's true and genuine and helpful to mankind. So, guys, I need y'all to participate. Heck, I'm participating. I'm putting in my own money. Currently, right now, we have $115 in the coffee bank. So, of course, if you can, please donate. A shout out to Zach, who said if everybody donated $1 per video uploaded, that would be $200 to $400 per video, and of course would reach $10,000 like within a month or so. So that would be nice, but hey, I can't force people to do anything. So that's the goal, because once we reach $10,000, then you don't have to donate for the rest of the year. Then we can just stay afloat, you know? I think this is fair. I think this is a good idea. This is how we make a stand. This is how we cut a hole in all this garbage. But guys, you gotta believe that it's possible. If you still want to be at the mercy of the zombies, then you suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, which I'm about to get into. All right, let's get into it. So many artists suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, right? Recently, you saw I made that video about how White Manga and Frederick from Saturday screwed over a recent artist. And that very artist decided to talk smack about me. He suffers from Stockholm Syndrome. Now, what is Stockholm Syndrome? Well, the definition is that it's a mental and emotional response. It's typically considered a psychological defense or coping mechanism experienced by some during extreme trauma like kidnapping, domestic violence, or sex trafficking. So the guy who defended Saturday, or the people who keep defending these companies even though they've done them wrong, you suffer from Stockholm syndrome. You are trying to cope with the fact that you got screwed. Your mind is made of mush. I'm sorry, but your mind is made of mush. You suffer from great trauma and you have not healed, right? We're going to look at some of the symptoms of Stockholm syndrome. And here is number one. Number one is feeling closely bonded or attached to the abuser. Now, notice that despite me being on the side of those who have been abused by Saturday or all these other companies, they still want to talk smack about me because they feel, for whatever reason, attached to their abusers. Perhaps it's because that abuser, that company, that establishment gave them hope when they were young. That when they were young, they thought this is how they're going to get their bread and butter. They were a follower of their company and they thought that it was going to bring prosperity in their lives. And so eventually the dream came true, in which they became a part of it, and then they got cut to pieces. And they're still in absolute shock and cannot process the fact that their idol has cut them down and treated them like garbage. And so there is a childlike attachment to that establishment because they grew up with that establishment. They never believed they could go to Japan, and some can't go to Japan. Some don't have what it takes to go to Japan, right? And so they thought this was their only means of hope in getting their stuff out there. And then they got cut down, and they still feel attached even though they got abused, even though they got cut down. And so I come along and say, bro, they cut you down disrespectfully. They don't give a damn about you. You want to be angry with me because I've told you the truth that they don't care about you, right? Number two, regressing to a childlike state of dependence. Have you noticed how childlike and infantile most of these dudes are? How many times have I said it? How many times have I said there's a bunch of sissy boys, man babies running around with gigantic beards, right? I didn't want to say it, but at the end of the day, Ricardo, who talking that smack, it's like, bro, come on, man. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. But ultimately, I'm right. I am right. I have been right all along. This regressing to a childlike state of dependence, it manifests in even how you carry yourself, even in how you look like. Seriously, all of it trickles into your entire being, even into your own work, your childlike state of dependence on your abusers, right? Makes you so angry that somebody's calling your mother abusive, because she is, right? Your mother being Saturday or any other establishment out there that doesn't really care about you. You have an infantile mind and you cannot stand the thought of ever trying to be independent, because a man needs to be independent. A man has to make his own way. You don't want to be a man. It's too hard. You don't accept the status quo of this current reality, that you must take the responsibility to market yourself, that you must put yourself out there. You can't be locked away in your room and just drawing and a publisher does everything for you. It doesn't work like that anymore. Sorry, it doesn't work like that anymore. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So what is it with these infantile-minded man babies? Well, it's because they're infantile in the mind and they refuse to grow up. They don't want to get with the program, right? Number three, selective memory of positive or kind acts of the abuser. Now, all of them, again, right? They probably grew up with this establishment, supporting works coming from these publishers. And they have selective memories of how much hope they gave them while growing up, how much nostalgia that they got just being involved with it, just looking at it, just admiring it. They are selective in what the abuser has done for them. What they have done recently to them, they always going to put that to the side, right? And always look at what they used to do before you even joined the thing. You were an outsider trying to look in. Once you came in, you saw how jacked it was. But still, you don't really want to go the full mile and say, nah, I will stand up for myself. This is wrong. You can't do that because you're still an infantile little weasel. Number 4, denial, minimization, or excuses made for abuse or maltreatment. These dudes are in denial. You are in denial as to you cannot accept that this is the new norm. Sorry, bro. Your desperation ain't gonna make things easier. Your desperation is what makes things harder for you. Because Frederick and all the other people, all the other companies, they know that you're so desperate they can easily exploit you. You're so desperate you're gonna sell your IP to them. Just like It's Buckles. Apparently It's Buckles also said some smack, in which, how is it that you complain about Frederick and then I approach you and say, yo, let's talk about it. Nah, I'm good. I don't want to talk about it. But you suffered greatly and you have not yet even healed from that suffering yet. You still got them bills because of Saturday, right? And above all else, you complain about those people and you realize that those people just wanted your IP, but you continued with them after realizing those things. And then when somebody brings it up, there is denial. There is denial. There is excuses. This is insanity. This is complete insanity. A friend of mine said, a lot of people in the West are traumatized. I wonder, what are you traumatized from? Seriously, what are you traumatized from? It's not like you grew up in Afghanistan where the Taliban is chasing you around, or in Nigeria with the Boko Haram hunting people down. I don't understand what Western people are traumatized from. I don't understand. Somebody send me a DM and let's talk about where the heck this trauma comes from. Because your trauma has now affected your thinking so greatly, you're cognitively impaired. And cognitively impaired means you're retarded. That's what it means, So I honestly would like to know what the heck is going on. Where does your trauma come from? Because it's affecting literally everything that you're doing. And then the last one is feeling emotionally disconnected, numb, or detached. Pretty much, these people are emotionally numb and disconnected, right? They only feel pleasure from their primary instincts, right? Violence, fear, sex, right? And so they wish to create content that appeals to that, right? They try to create content that appeals to that greatly. They cannot offer anything of rationale, of anything that feeds the soul. None of that. None of that. They've been fried to the max, where now they're just zombies. They're emotionally drained. They don't have emotional intelligence, nothing whatsoever. Whoever's going to make an excuse that they have autism, nah, man, you don't have autism, bruh. You're just a butthole. That's all it is. You're just a lazy butthole. Now, I recently saw a comment, somebody saying, I remind them of Tyler Durden or Durbin from the movie Fight Club. And I don't like the movie. I've seen it. But a guy commented to him saying, well, we need to remember that movie shows us that whoever resists the Matrix, those who resist the Matrix and tries to fight back, ultimately the point is it doesn't end very well because you're just going to be seen as a vandal. Because the main character of the movie set up that whole idea and plan of his to burn down a few buildings, demolish a few buildings as a means to, knock the system down. And ultimately, that doesn't change anything. Yeah, that doesn't. And I said that you do realize that at the end of the day, so Hollywood is also part of social engineering. It wants people to be hopeless. It wants to give everybody ideas on how they can fight back. And then the end of the movie shows you that you're not going to win at the end of the day, and that's making you demoralized. Because I was accused that I bring about hopelessness here. I was accused that I am somebody who brings dread and doom. How is this possible when I am the only one who addresses all these critical issues that you traumatized people suffer from? And then you accuse me for presenting what you suffer from because you suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. You still want to appease yourselves to those who abuse you. You say you hate the system, but then you want to say it's pointless to fight the system. Which one is it you do not believe, nor do you know how to fight? There can be endless problems presented, but at long last, I have brought a solution. The solution is Coffee Comics, the crucible against demoralization. But too many agree, right? Too many agree but do not believe. How do you agree and not believe? It's because those who do that come here just to bathe yourself in some intellectual thought, and then you go back to the gutter of the zombie group, right? And swim around in your primal carnal misery. Distract yourself with your primal stuff, right? Because you cannot dedicate yourself to anything, you cannot commit to anything, but you complain about not being able to. You complain about being beaten over the head by Frederick, by the system, by other things as well. And then when I say, hey, you being beaten over the head by Frederick, you get mad at me. You get mad at me. You suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, right? There's another thingy here that says, that describes the behavior. It says positive feelings towards their abusers, sympathy for their abusers' beliefs and behaviors, negative feelings towards police or other authority figures. I am not really an authority figure, right? But I might as well represent that authority figure because all authority figures represent a standard that society must uphold. And I have come to present a standard that if we say we are manga artists, we must pursue the Japanese standard. We must fulfill the standards of production, right? To make sure that we're not lying to ourselves. We have to honor what inspired us by being able to produce content that is equally at their level, or at least close to it. You cannot just do your own thing. You want to get mad at me now for saying all those things that are true, right? And yet you be abused by those who take advantage of your trauma, and they allow you to believe your little standards that don't make sense. And then when you get cut, you want to cry about it. But here I am, and I say, guys, there needs to be a standard, number one. And number two, you need to stand up for yourself. You cannot go bow the knee to those who hate you. You cannot go bow the knee to those who hate you. How do you have sympathy for Saturday AM and them? How do you have sympathy for all the other establishments that only want to sell to zombies? How? When they abuse you, when they tell you that you are replaceable. How is this possible? People in my Discord, right? There's a lot of them who got screwed by Saturday. There's a lot. I was shocked at the number. The stories I heard are a lot worse than mine 10 years ago, right? Way worse. But at the end of the day, all of you who want to hate me and say I'm a doomer, I'm a negative person, I'm a hater, you are cognitively impaired and you suffer from Stockholm Syndrome because I have brought a solution, right? Thank you again to those who have donated recently. I repeat that the mission at hand is an annual budget of $10,000 because at the end of the day, remember, I doubt anybody can produce 2 volumes a year because we all have jobs on the side, right? So yeah, ultimately, this is the solution. This is how we socially engineer the public. Draw them away from the zombie filth. Just imagine it. Just imagine your book is done now and it's marketed by coffee, right? A community and a movement that stands for something. And the people see it and they say, I see the cover looks cool. I see the synopsis sounds interesting. But what's more interesting is that it stands for 1, 2, and 3 under the principles of this coffee thing. Okay, let me read it. They go to your profile, right? They go to your profile. They see the link where you posted your first chapter to be read for free. If they like it, they buy your book. You get the money. I get nothing from it. I get nothing. You get the money. You get the shine. All I do is use our annual budget to market you. And guess what? If they like your stuff and they buy your stuff, they're going to tell their friends about it. And then they share. And so it spreads. And so the renewal of their minds begins. This is how we fight. This is how we make a stand. I have presented the solution. But how can it be that you still dare say, I'm just a doomer? You're cognitively impaired. You're deaf. Your brain doesn't work very well. You're traumatized. You have a giant scar in your flippin' brain. You need to get it fixed. You need to get it fixed. You need to go, I don't know where you're going to go, because all these therapists and psychologists, they just want to give you pills and make you worse. I don't know where you're going to go, man. Because the churches are jacked as well at this point. I think you're just going to have to go pray. There's nothing else I can say. I'm sorry. Right? There's nothing else I can say. You're just going to have to go pray about it, dude. Go pray about it and hope for the best. But at the end of the day, those of us who don't suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, those of us who see the need for this stand, who see a need for this resistance, who see a need for this fight against the demoralization, you know that we can't just sit down and let this be. Because if we do, we just sit in misery and complain all day about the jobs that we gotta do. Oh, I work at the factory, there's no fulfillment in it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You then eventually become a zombie, dude. And you know this, those of you who are like me. So you know that, no, I want to participate in this fight. I want to participate in this fight. I will not be just a spectator as many are, right? If you want to see where this is going to go, dude, just donate $1 per video or, I don't know, anything, 50 cents, something, man. Let's get to the annual budget, which is $10,000. Once we reach that number, no need for donations for the rest of the year, right? That's the bare minimum. Who else has presented this? I don't get a cut out of your stuff. None of that. This is about us. Who else is here for you? I'm the only one in this community on YouTube who is bringing up all these things, who has interviewed people about all these things. Who else is doing it? They just want a buck out of you. And to make a buck, you need zombies on your side. But those who are here understand that they don't want to sell to the zombie. You can have zombie elements, right? What are the zombie elements? 3 primal instincts: violence, sex, fear, right? Hold back on the sex though. I mean, we don't want to rely on the booty to sell books. But violence, you know, I mean, everybody's numb now to violence. It's like, yeah, whatever. But ultimately, you can have bits of zombie stuff in there. But the message is the key. You are not creating a distraction. You are creating a message of hope. This is what Coffee Comics is. A message of hope. Hope. This is what people need. So who are you to accuse me of doom? I tell you again, all of you who accuse me of doom are cognitively impaired, which means you are literally retarded. And I don't know what you're doing here. If I'm just a doomer, get the hell off my channel. Go away. Go away. I need those who are genuine, those who want to see this make something happen. And it can, and it will. But I need y'all to believe, because when you believe that it will, you will participate in making sure that it will. Going back to you Stockholm Syndrome people, y'all need help, man. Y'all need serious help. You're flipping, regressing to a childlike state of dependence. Man, you man babies are sick in the head. You're sick in the head. Fix your trauma. I don't know how you're gonna do it, because a lot of you are just nihilistic atheists anyway. So good luck to you, bro. Good luck, but hey, if you're gonna turn into a zombie that wants to drag other people down because they're advancing, they're evolving, and you're not evolving, that's on you, dude. We're moving forward here. We're moving forward. Thanks again to those who have donated. We have $115 in the coffee bank thus far. Let's do it. Let's get to that 10K budget, and I will be done with the volume 1 remaster by December, and I'm going to go through it so y'all can see that I applied the standards that I've been talking about. And I am so filled with hope, so filled with energy now, that I was able to start working on my ultimate masterpiece, my ultimate story, the story that I will tell, that I can die happy if I can complete it. Heck, if I can get 2 volumes of it out, I'll die happy. I'll die happy. That's the power of hope. Hope can give you an energy you can't find anywhere else. It can give you a boost money can't give you, and a fulfillment money can't give you either. But all you have to do is just believe what I say. Just believe it, so you can participate in it. If I'm wrong, send me a DM. Let's debate. Anybody who's got a problem with me, I'm open to a debate. I'm ready. Who's brave enough? Who's brave enough? Just have the courtesy to behave like a human being and say, yo, bro, I saw you want to debate. All right, I want to debate you. I want to cut you down. Let's do it. That's called being a human being. Don't come in there cussing me out like a damn savage, because that means I can't talk to you. You're an animal. I can't talk to animals who just want to cuss out and scream. Let's see if you're still a human being. Can you be civil? Can you wait for another person to make his point? Can you do this? If you're brave and you really believe what you believe in, right? Send me a DM. Let's organize this debate. Once again, y'all, please donate. Let's get to that budget. $10,000 annual budget. We can do this. We can win. We can win, guys. Seriously, we can win. It starts now. Until next time.